All this entrepreneur thing, I'm tired and sick of it. I'm going to retire in a cushy corporate job, right? So how cushy can cushy be? So I went all the way, and I got the opportunity. I was grateful for that to join GIC
Nice.
in-house, right? So I guess in Singapore, where else do you want to go after all these corporates? So that could be probably my retirement career, I thought.
Wow, damn solid.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Damn Solid podcast. So today we have the great and wonderful champagne-loving Xiaoyin. Woo!
Hello everyone, hi. So I'm Xiaoyin, I'm a M&A lawyer. I'm very happy to be here today and to be able to talk and share more about my experience.
I hope you won't find us too frivolous.
No, I like frivolous. It's too serious at work most of the time.
So now it's a chance for you to get
Yeah.
all up and frivolous with us. Yeah.
With a few champagnes.
Woo.
Okay.
We shot the champagne for the morning, but we can
actually,
visit that.
Nobody knows what's in our...
Mark, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all we know.
You assume it's coffee.
Nice. Okay, maybe we'll just start. Maybe we can do a bit of a self-introduction
Sure.
about yourself and what you do.
Corporate M&A lawyer basically sounds very cheap, right? Like M&A, what's M&A? So merger acquisition, help people buy, sell company, invest into companies. And I've been doing, or rather I've been a lawyer for more than 14 years. But I didn't start off as an M&A lawyer. So I started as a litigation lawyer. Also something that people have all this dramatic image of, like what you watch in the TV. But actually our life is not like that. It's not always glamorous. Sometimes we pretend like it's glamorous, but actually it's not.
A lot of work behind the
a
scenes.
lot of work and not sexy, not dressed up nice, or nothing hanky-panky in the office, I hope. I don't know. That one I don't know. Okay, but that part, okay, I don't know. And yeah, so litigation lawyer with a big firm, and I was there for 4.5 to 5 years, trained. But I didn't really like the nature of litigation. Maybe it's just my personality. I'm not very argumentative. I like to talk, but I don't like to argue and destroy each other. So after 2.5 years in litigation, I decided maybe I should leave and do my business. But that's when the law firm offered me an opportunity to try out M&A, because I say I want to do business, something constructive, fun, make money. They say, why don't you learn about M&A because it's business oriented. So I took the bait and I was there for another 3 years. Then I realized, oh yeah, it's great. Like I really, I wouldn't be here if not for that opportunity. But also at the same time, M&A is not just doing business.
Right.
M&A law is a different thing. We are still a lawyer at the end of the day. So what do the lawyers do? Lawyers draft agreement. Lawyers help people to negotiate. But we cannot make commercial decisions for our clients. Our clients, the business owners have to take their own risk and decide what they want to do. So there's an entrepreneur in me that wanted to do business myself. And I want to make the business decision. So I decided to leave the legal profession, also due to the work hours. I mean, to be honest, the big firm is quite demanding when it comes to work. So I need a break, and I went out, started my hobby business, which is related to music.
Nice.
So I play the violin. I have a small band now that we play with. Actually, just in fact yesterday, so I'm still hangover from the high, from the high and the alcohol. Okay, but we did play at the Cool Cats yesterday. So music has always been my hobby. I play the violin and since young, and I've been performing when I was in school. Then I took up a lot of commercial gigs, so it became my quite high income generating thing while I was in school. In fact, it's better than my law firm pay for the first few years, I have to say. Yeah, so people are like, why do you want to be a lawyer when you can just make money as a musician? Yeah, which...
Damn.
Yeah. but you have to see the sustainability of this the industry, right? I mean, for example, when COVID hit, right, and a lot of musicians were out of job in terms of performance and events. So then people will be like, I envy you as a lawyer, right? That you have a stability and security.
But weren't a lot of musicians doing like live streaming or
Yes,
online back then?
But how to monetize that? I
Oh,
don't
yes,
know, right?
yes,
It's a bit
yes.
hard to. So events are paying very well, especially if you know how to package the band.
Yep.
Like I've learned all this stuff also from my experience, how the event managers will package the musician, brand the group,
Yeah.
and if there's a certain selling point, usually, I wouldn't say always, but it's mostly related to looks and how you market. So the first electric violin group that I was in that commanded a high price above market rate was
Wow.
branded as no strings attached.
Oh,
Wow.
I was like,
Did you come up with the name?
no, it was the event manager.
Did you give it the poetic side of you to just...
That's not really poetic. That's a bit sleazy, right? In my opinion.
Damn.
But of course, it worked. So,
Yeah.
so we did perform a lot. In fact, we were invited to perform in like Doha, in Hong Kong, overseas, and I was flying out. Well, I was still studying law in school. Sometimes I had to find a way to travel
Yep.
and to perform, and it's really lucrative during that period of time. Yeah, but when I decided to become a lawyer, I guess, people will say, oh, the pay and all that. But the professional job has always been a good, I wouldn't say backup, but it's a good training. And you have the background knowledge. And I never wanted to be a lawyer, but it just happened to be because I studied hard. And I ended up in the law school doing economics and law double degree and parents' expectation. And when I graduated, the top firm offered me, so I just accepted. So there's a very no choice. It just happened.
My parents would have just wanted me to just do like law, go for it. I'm like,
be a banker.
yeah, I mean that part.
Why do you quit your banking job?
Passion.
Yeah, but law did inspire me. When you were studying law in NUS, I have to say it's a really good law school. And you have learned a lot about maybe the justice, the bigger ideals about why we do law to protect the weak, fairness.
Yeah.
So I was pretty bought into that belief system for a
Yeah,
while.
yeah.
And I wanted to do something meaningful as a lawyer. But look, I'm now in the commercial world. I don't know whether I'm still doing the justice and fairness ideal thing.
Still meaningful.
Still meaningful. I try to make my deals as fair as possible, try to make it a win-win for everybody.
Yep.
So I think to some extent, yes. But it's definitely not as idealistic as I was when I studied law. But going to practice, therefore, it is meaningful for me to learn what law practice is really about. And so, there I was. But when I left the big law firm to start up my business in music, it was also to some extent a social justice kind of a concept. So I did it as a social enterprise to help young musicians to find a platform to perform.
Nice.
Because in my experience as a musician, when I first started in school, there were agents who were good and who were not so good.
Right.
Yeah. So I thought we could better protect the musicians' rights and their welfare. And sometimes I inevitably ended up becoming the advocate of it when we were performing. So I decided to have my own agency, event management company. So that went on for about a year until a partnership fell apart. So that's something I also learned, that when we do maybe business, your partners, your founders, your people that you initially work with, you could really fall in love for the passion of this idea, the dream of the business. But when things get going, whether it gets better or get tougher, right, you get issues that you will need to resolve. So if the partners are not aligned, then that will be quite challenging later down the road. So after wrapping up the business due to the falling apart of the partnership, I went back to the legal industry, and it's always there on the background because it gives me the chance to consult, do it part-time. And I've done that for quite some big companies, and along the way, slowly gravitated back into the legal industry as an in-house lawyer. And it was comfortable until it got bored. I think we are always looking for challenges as entrepreneurs, and after you rest a bit, you want to look at what's next. And after like about 6 years in the corporate life, I wanted to come out and do another social enterprise. That's also inspired by the experience of volunteering in the legal clinic during my corporate days, I was looking for something more meaningful.
Wow.
So outside of the work hours, I would go to volunteer at Aware. And I've realized there's a lot of people who might need legal advice and other forms of help. And could I do a social enterprise, a startup to help them? And that one was quite an epic project and failure in the end, but not failure in the sense that it's bad, but it's a lesson learned for me. I've spent 2 years of my time working on it, a lot of my savings, and working to pump money back into the business, feeding the team, feeding the technical CTO and the development team for an app. And there's a lot of lessons I could break it down, but that would take like 2 days to record this. So, right. So after 2 years, learning from the experience, I had to go back to the legal industry, to be honest, just to keep the lights on, right? Because I burned all my savings. So that was a very difficult period. I think for all entrepreneurs, if we ever go through ups and downs in the business, we realize there will be moments which is pretty dark. It looks like, there's no hope, and you probably need time to recover from it. But I think as long as we have the courage to face it and we just keep taking one step at a time, we can eventually find our foot back. So I think that's something I have learned personally. It took me 6 months to recover from in terms of that failure, and also to slowly keep my finances rolling and to get back in a healthier position. And then I went back into corporate again, chugging along. I think, all this entrepreneur thing, I'm tired and sick of it. I'm going to retire in the cushy corporate job, right? So how cushy can cushy be? So I went all the way, and I got the opportunity. I was grateful for that to join GIC.
Nice.
In-house, right? So I guess in Singapore, where else do you want to go after all these corporates? So that could be probably my retirement career, I thought, and really want to maybe work there for my whole life and just... But then like 2 years later, you know the story, right? Then it's again, I am a bit young to retire, right? Is there anything else I want to do with life? And so again, I'm out. And in fact, it was a different set of circumstances why I came out of GIC. But the main reason was also motivated by what else can I do in life. And then I took some time. I got back into the private practice. This time, not working as a lawyer per se, but more like, that gives me the freedom to do the things I want, and I can run it like my own business. And to some extent, it's a business that I already know, being a lawyer, and maybe it's a good place to combine the knowledge I have, the experience I have, and the business interests that I have. So that's where I am in a way. Two more years later, I'm here and heading the M&A for my firm. So that's in short my story.
Can you elaborate a little bit on the second thing that you started? It was a social enterprise thing,
Yes.
but it is law related.
Yes, it started with a very niche focus, I would say. It's quite funny. So I was volunteering at a legal clinic, and most of the women who came and seek help were asking questions about family law related matters. So in my earlier days when I was in school, I also interned with the sub-courts, the family court, in fact. I was seconded to the senior district judge in the family court and was writing opinions under the internship. So I was initially interested in family law until I realized that when making decisions and all that, it's impacting people's life in many ways and for their entire life. So I find the decision too heavy and I cannot take it on myself because honestly, I don't know if I'm making the right decision based on very limited facts and knowledge, especially in family matters, right? So because of that, I went into the commercial side of things. But when I was volunteering at Aware, that kind of rekindled my I guess calling to some extent or empathy for family law matters. And I thought maybe these people could benefit from the accessibility to legal knowledge and to some form of help that's more sustainable, like counseling, and not just one session of 20 minutes free consultation in the clinic, right? So because of that, I decided to start a social enterprise that aims at helping people to get divorced better. Was that a better way to put it?
How you should frame it, but
But then I
be
guess
efficient in the process.
Be efficient, less painful, right? I mean, some divorces could be dragging out and all this litigation. So if parties are more reasonable, there's some way that they can come to a more reasonable agreement. Maybe things will be better. But I'm not sure if that's actually what the the society would want, right? In terms of how to get a more efficient divorce. Or maybe parties should take time to divorce for the very reason maybe they could still have chance to work at it, right? If you look at it the other way.
Yeah.
So then I decided to pivot the enterprise to be helping couple to work on the relationship, right? So instead of addressing the tip of the iceberg, you are addressing the bottom 90% of the people who are still in the relationship or somewhat experiencing the common challenges. And before they get too bad, it's then a way to salvage the relationship. Right. So I also did surprisingly an interview about this with a podcast kind of a setting on Reset many years ago. Yes. But the project failed at that period of time. Maybe it's the concept, maybe it's the execution, maybe it's the idea is too early, the timing. But regardless, I mean, I'm keeping it in view. I still have the passion for it, but maybe we will come back to it another day, do it differently.
Okay.
Yes.
You shared about the 2 startups that you had. You want to share a little bit more about it? Like, why did it fail? Or is that something too sensitive?
Yeah, that one has a lot of layers.
Okay.
But I guess...
or we can share with us your lessons from it. you know?
my lessons definitely. So actually for both the startup experience, I think to some extent, the partnership wasn't ideal. Ideal in the sense that, I mean, of course, we have to be very practical when we're doing a startup. So it's not idealistic that everybody should just do things out of their own good will and heart and sacrifice everything to the finishing line. But it's more about aligning the values, right? Like, and the why and the goals, the practical goals. Then also to recognize what is each other's contribution. What do you bring to the table? Right? Then to value it accordingly, fairly, and in a manner that everybody can agree on. Of course, there is easier said than done, right? And there's things some people will think my value is more, or some person's value come first, right? They'll bring something first and maybe somebody later, right? So how do you make it fair and arrange it? And a lot of it is projection estimates. And how do you, when it actualize, then how do you equate that to whatever arrangement you have? So those things could be done to some extent, not all, by having certain agreements or kind of understanding at the beginning. When you communicate and agree on some of the principles, how do you navigate these issues? But of course, it won't be all addressed by law. I mean, at the end of the day, people come to lawyers and say, oh, I have this contract, then everything is protected. I'm like, no, that's just a piece of paper. Don't you know?
You mean it's not true?
But of course, it's important to have things in writing, black and white agreement. But who is going to actually honor the agreement at the end of the day, right?
Oh, wow.
And if they breach it, what recourse do you have? So that's where law comes in to help enforce it. But it's not like your talisman, like Hu Shen Fu, like you carry around. And because of that, there's no risk and I can do everything. So that's something to think about. But partnership eventually is really about alignment.
Wow.
Yeah. And you may be very attracted to a person as a partner. Okay, whatever context you want to apply, because the person is interesting, and different.
Good looking.
Or sweet talking, for whatever reason, and then you jump into a partnership, right? But then you didn't, you just rush in, you didn't really think through all these practical contributions, distributions, and stuff, all these difficult conversations, the finances and all that. And then until when you're too deep in it, then you realize, oh shit, and then the reality catches up and all these issues just blow up in your face. And then you realize, oh no, right? It's too late, or, it's too damaging. But sometimes that happens.
But that's such a good point. I think a lot of partnerships we are started, on the whim because there's some synergy at the point of time. But I feel that people don't really take time to, to go through the whole thought process of, how the different partner participate and contribute to the business. I think this is something that, especially for new business owners, people who wants to find a friend, let's start something together.
Yes.
I think it's more than just finding a friend, but finding someone who's aligned, someone who has a complementary set of skills, such that they can actually work together, synergize, and really help the business to grow.
Yes.
I think that's something that, people need to give more thought, think deeply about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
just grab a warm body and
Oh,
whoever wants to go in with you, right? Yes, I mean, I understand when we first start, maybe we just have an idea,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
and
yeah.
we want people to jump onto our ship to
Yes.
support us.
Yep.
So whichever resource we can get, we just grab, right?
Yeah,
And hope everything just work out. But that could be a recipe for disaster in the end. Yeah.
Bob has his own experience to share.
Just a journey, I guess. Entrepreneurship, a lot of learnings. I think that alignment is something that I feel, and personally, I feel that it is often not properly communicated at the beginning. Very often we go around, we find someone who is willing. I think the first thing first, that I think a lot of business owners, they find someone who is willing. I think that is the first step, but I think that is not enough. I think like what you shared, I think it's something that people don't really give a lot of thoughts. And I've met, quite a few of my fellow entrepreneur friends. Many of them started with a partner, because with partner comes, assurance. People assure you, back up, wow, this is a good idea. So there's this
Yes.
crowd, they just rah one another, right? Then after that, then people will pool resources, pool talent. So it gives you the great starting point.
Yes.
I think this is always the easiest, the most attractive idea of a partnership. But once we've started, what's next? I think a lot of people don't have the conversation. And I mean, in my own personal experience, my friends, I've seen many of them eventually, one partner will leave, they'll close the businesses. I think it takes really serious conversation and I think open conversation to find out what each individual actually want
Yes.
in the broad scheme of things. I mean, not
Yes.
just corporately, but individually.
Yeah.
How does this business actually benefit all of us? I think main thing in the partnership, it should be a win-win situation for everybody.
Yes.
I think this is something that that's a very good point. I think a lot of people don't actually talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good to have the conversation early. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you also mentioned, right, like you as a lawyer, it is not your job to facilitate all this because partners, they have to do all the talkings by themselves. But for you, what you can do is come up with the proper black and white, just in case things go south.
Yes and no. I guess, of course, lawyers' main function is to come up with a legally binding contract in that kind of context. But I think a good lawyer definitely has more value to add than just helping you write down what you agree on. Like, how do you even reach the agreement? What are the points to agree on? And what are the solutions to some of your seemingly impossible impasse, right? Because actually a lot of things, like when you talk about win-win, it's not maybe just about financially, the money, the return, equal share or something like that. Like 50% to you means differently for somebody else, right? So what they need to win from it may be different. And how do you address the different interests? So what you give to each partner may be different, right? And also depending on their own stage in life, what targets they have, everybody may want things a bit differently at different time. So if we can work out a solution around there, which the good lawyers should tell you, actually there are many ways of doing it. And we can find a solution, right, that could really create a win-win that means something for everybody. Rather than just saying, oh, just divide equally, or based on how much money you contribute, or how do you calculate your time. I think we can help with being a bit more creative, also to know from the experience what kinds of problem and what kinds of solutions we can provide. So then helping parties to negotiate also, I mean, to some extent, lawyers is also like independent, neutral party, because we don't stand to gain from any of your whatever. So, and from our experience, we can say what people usually do, what's the benchmark, what would be a good, reasonable standard, right? And that helps to bring parties closer together in their negotiation. And, individually, they could feel comfortable sharing their needs or interests with the independent party to some extent. So there's a lot of other, I guess, lesser seen role of a lawyer in a commercial or M&A context. So
Sounds like a mediator.
almost, yeah. I mean, lawyers to some extent we have all kinds of functions and roles. Sometimes we are counselors,
Oh,
we
yeah.
are friends,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and then all these dirty things come to us. But then we launder it. No, no. I mean the information, right? Okay, but we of course we have the duty of confidentiality, privilege, legal privilege.
Yeah.
So that's why clients can also or should be able to trust us with their secrets. Not that we want to know if it's not relevant, please. Yeah, so we do play different roles depending on the context.
All right.
Have you ever like a group of people come to you and at the first look or the first conversation, you already kind of can guess like, this is not going to work out or like this is going to work out?
I think actually it's easy to want to jump into like a conclusion or judgment, right? Based on what I observe. Maybe it's experience. There's always some truth in it, like accuracy, like maybe a probability thing, right? So you can see from certain way of communication or lack of communication, certain way of behavior, you can say, oh, in all probability, this one is a bit difficult, right? But I wouldn't say I'm like
Nicely phrased.
it's like it's a deterministic outcome, and you never know what people are capable of working out. I mean, if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
So sometimes things can be unexpected
What if the partnership didn't fail?
for the music business.
Yeah.
Then I guess we all will be in a very different place.
Yeah. What would that place be like?
I'm not sure if it's better or worse because you know it's now just a probability that it's not happening. It's becoming impossible. But I always think that whatever small little thing we do a bit differently, or it will change our whole life, right?
Yeah.
It's butterfly effect,
Yes. Yes.
right? So the partnership thing is one turning point. There's so many other turning points in our career, our life, the
Yep.
choices we make. Like even appearing here, it could be a turning point.
Yeah.
Right? So, but how to predict? There's so many possibilities that branch out.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't want to imagine.
Okay.
That-
Okay. Fair
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
I mean, ultimately, where we are today isn't just a singular decision, a singular outcome, but I think it's a series of crossroads, people that you meet, and all every factor charts the life that we live right now.
Yes.
Maybe in an alternate universe, you will not be a lawyer.
You'll
You'll
be like
just
on a band traveling
Yeah.
the world right now.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, why can't we have everything? Oh, that's another one. Everything at once.
But that's
huh?
what you're doing already.
Yeah,
right?
yes.
You have everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
I would say I'm grateful that I'm somewhat managing different things, right? So now I have my band, now I have my career as a lawyer, but my business in a sense as a law practice. I also have my interests like publishing my book, which was my
Wow.
childhood dream, being a writer, which I'm working towards it. But of course, you could always wonder like what if, right?
Yeah,
Let's say
yeah,
what
yeah.
if you chose one path and you
Yeah.
go all the way in.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
you will be super good at it,
Yeah.
excellent, right? That may be true, but we make our choices. And also, there's always the limiting belief. Then, therefore, if you get yourself distracted, spread yourself too thin, maybe you won't do well in everything. Or maybe it just takes time. Who knows, right? And every one of us have our own timing,
Yep.
our own approach. And even if I say I force myself to choose one, will I be happier? Happier in the sense where I'll be more fulfilled.
Yep.
The journey, the process. How does it feel to me, right? I think maybe we are just making the right choice based on our preference and also our own natural inclination.
Right.
I think that's just a unique path for each of us.
Before we jump into asking you how you managed to do so many things
Yeah.
all at once, maybe you can share. I'm always curious, like what's the motivation behind running a social enterprise?
Well, I think empathy, maybe some of us have a bit more natural empathy. I think I probably as a kid, I was quite an emotionally sensitive person. So that also, to some extent, I believe make you a more creative person, that sensitivity.
Yep.
Right. But at the same time, also, you are more alert to people's feeling, to the environment. So that is the starting point. And then what do you use it for? I guess also part of my childhood experience, moving from Shanghai. I was born in Shanghai, then moved to Singapore when I was 12 years old. And it's a complete change of environment. To get used to the new environment, there were some challenges as well, the language and all that, to integrate myself into society, to build my network and friends from nothing. And that also speed up the learning about society, about people, about also adversities. And at a certain point in my life, also because of my family issues, which also cause some kind of pain, and which again to me is, I wouldn't say it's good, but it encouraged me to grow as a person, and then it changed my very limited perspective of reality. So with all that, I do have a soft heart for people who need help or who are in a difficult position, whether naturally or otherwise. And if we are in a position to help them one way or another, I think it's a great thing to do, and it gives me a sense of satisfaction. I don't know if it's like trying to compensate for the things you lost, or you in a way try to right a wrong that was done in the past. But I think a lot of us who feel passionate about certain cause, maybe coming from a place of their own pain, which we try to convert to do something to make the world a better place. So I think that's what motivated me to always look into social enterprises.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's not for money.
Well,
Less money.
We got money, right?
I'm always very curious, like, because
Yeah.
social enterprise, it still can be profitable, right?
yes,
Yeah, it
yes.
still can be profitable. Yeah.
So money is, if you just want to make money and that's your passion, nothing wrong. But there are better ways to make money than social
for sure,
enterprises,
yeah.
right? But social enterprises, yes, they're supposed to be profitable businesses as well, sustainable. And of course, when you have the double bottom line of the financial and the social impact, then you might have to use your resources a bit differently. But I've seen some, like, well, in my days while I was consulting at Race for almost 2 years, I was also their advisor and looking at some of these grant applications, also looking at how to help to connect the social enterprises with investors. Some of the social enterprises, very interestingly, have very beautiful model where the impact and the financial is aligned.
Oh.
Again, then it's like doubly powerful or even exponentially powerful. So whichever impact target you are achieving, you are financially also successful. And those are the most beautiful kind of social enterprise model that we can find. Very rare. Not everything can be done that way, but that would be ideal. If you're looking at the very money-making social enterprise.
Is that what you are trying to do,
I
Brandon?
clearly lack empathy, lah. So my wife tells me that, man. She says like empathy is not on my trait list. Yeah.
Well, so I mean, given that with your work at Race and what you've done in the social enterprise space and advising on the enterprises, what would you say about the success rate of social entrepreneurship in Singapore? I mean, I work with DBS, so there's the DBS Foundation, and I mean we do see a lot of social enterprises being supported and all, but I often wonder what happens after they get the support. What happens next? Does the support translate to a sustainable business function? So I'm quite curious.
Yeah, I would say all businesses, startups have a high chance of failure. That we all know, right? So social enterprise, is it higher or lower? Well, depends on how you look at it, because firstly, they will get some support, like you said, right? If they are qualifying as a social enterprise, so there are some quite abundant grants for them. So they may be able to start a little bit better with the support of grants. Right? But also the grants come at condition of the social impact. So that means still they have to focus on delivering the impact. So maybe it would also distract them from the money, how to generate the sustainable income for the business, that part of the business itself. So is it a blessing or a curse? I don't know. Right? Sometimes it will give you a good start, and then does it really teach you how to fish? Right? And will it make you a more successful business in the longer term? That we don't know. But you can also say a lot of good business without the support will have failed. So, so I'm not sure what's the net effect though.
Okay, that's a good food for thought. Yeah, I mean, or the impact that we're trying to do. I mean, we all start from a good place with a good heart and great intentions. I think this is the main gist right now. We all hope that all social enterprises will deliver the impact that we hope to see in society. So hopefully with a good start, good footing, we will get there
Yes.
one way or another.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. I think we talked quite a bit about your past experiences, the businesses that you've started. Maybe let's talk a little bit about what you're doing right now. Right. So this is the M&A world.
Okay, back to the serious lawyer hat. Okay, no more empathy. Okay. No,
Empathy
so
for
yeah.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the space of M&A, right? Because people often think it as something that's a late stage part of a entrepreneurship journey. It could be the acquisition of, someone who has built something and is wanting to cash out or build or move out, or someone who is like struggling, and needs to liquidate and probably let go of the company. So this sounds like it's like for people who are really advanced in the entrepreneurship game. But how about for people who are starting out? Is M&A something that we should consider? Let's say I want to be, let's say where I'm starting out right now, I want to be a photographer.
Yeah.
Is that I've never thought about being of M&A at all,
Yeah.
So maybe is this something that new entrepreneurs should actually consider?
Yeah. So I think for all business owners, M&A is actually kind of almost inherent in the nature of the business, right? Of course, when we start a business for different reasons, we may not purely do it for financial or just looking at it like a business. It could be our passion, our hobby, our calling. So if I want to be a photographer, I just want to be a photographer, and my whole life I would just want to take good photos. Who cares? Right. But if let's say I need to set up a business about it, then I need to settle my rental, hire my staff, buy my equipment, find business and all that, then it becomes a business, right? So you're not purely doing it being a hobbyist, you are actually running a business. Then you have to be a bit more responsible to some extent to think about the top and bottom lines, and M&A therefore is a part of it, because it's really the value of your business, and how do you actually realize the value of your business for yourself and the people that work for you, work with you, or you care about. So no matter how big or small or what stage your business is at, there's always an M&A angle to it. Don't wait until you are like a 10-year-old business. Then I'm going to retire, then I want to sell, but I don't know how, and the whole books are all messy, everything is not properly done, and it's hard to sell the company too, right? So as a startup founder, depends on your goal. Let's say if I want my business to be successful and I want to reap the reward of the success, my timeline is say 3 years, 5 years. What's my horizon reasonably, right? Like some people will say, oh yeah, I want to do this my whole life until I die. But, when you're 60, 70, you still have the energy to do that, right? And some people assume their children want to take over, but, sometimes it's not the case. So, when you first start, in fact, even amongst the partners, you already also have to do the alignment talk. And then you have to see what's your goal, whether it aligns. Some people want to get out in 3 years. Some people want to get out in 5 years. What is the value you want to get out at? And how do you reach there? So what is the amount of sales you have to achieve? How big the company must grow, right? And what is the hiring, that you need for the expansion? How do you manage your resources, your expenses? So that's all part of the company's value, and that therefore it's also part of the M&A. And how does M&A help a startup entrepreneur? I mean, for example, if you could consider external funding, right? Fundraising, right? But some people don't do that. It's okay, we do it with our own money, and we just put our savings in, like what I did before my startups. But you also realize that you are taking a lot of risk yourself as an entrepreneur. Sometimes getting external funding may not be a bad thing, right? Firstly, it may help you extend your long runway, and it will help you reduce so-called the stress, financially, the burden, right? Of course, the investor may be coming in for different reasons. Some could be for investment return. Some could be because they are your friend or family or friends, so they want to support you. All kinds of money, of course, has its price, but sometimes it makes sense to get some external money to help you to have the freedom to do what you need to do, right? So I think that's the early stage. And so you get seed round, you get angel round, that is M&A. And of course, for all these investors who believe in you from a very early stage, what are they getting out of it? How do you create a win-win for everybody, right? And when it comes to the worst case scenario, what are they losing? right? So that has to be set out very clearly. And how do you project the growth of the company? When do you exit? That's also part of the M&A planning, right? And maybe after the first round, you will raise another round as the company grow.
Right.
What kind of valuation? How do you justify that? So in fact, if you have done all these calculations at the very beginning, before you start your business, it may be a good approach because then you have a plan. But of course, things will depart from the plan. That's always normal.
Yeah.
But at least you have a direction of where you're going, and it's an alignment for your partners to know what they are working towards. Of course, there's a lot of business that just grow organically, which is fine too. Like sometimes you never know what life takes you, right? Where it takes you, and you could suddenly land up in a place that, hey, okay, actually the business is profitable and it's sustainable. And what's next?
All right.
So at that stage again, you can start thinking, what is my next step? How should I bring it forward? And then again, it has to do with the value of the company, your exit, your plan, what do you want? How does M&A help you with that? Partnership, acquisition, or selling part of the business, or growing something else.
Right.
Yeah. So that's, I guess, how M&A could be relevant for all our business ventures.
Wow. How early does seed fund? I mean, people look for the first set of investment. How early in the business along usually people are?
It depends on how fast are you at growing the business. Yeah, so I think once you get things organized, I mean, there are very experienced founders who have successful exits from some of my clients who are just like, like, half a year this round, 1 year later this round.
Yeah.
So they have everything planned because they also had the experience and knowledge.
Also because they have like mentors, business mentors as well.
Some
to
of
guide
them
through?
do too, and some of them have own successful exits before, right? Some are serial entrepreneur, whatever. So they're very successful, so they know what they're doing. But of course, for the first timers, maybe you don't really know where you're going, and sometimes you could try different ideas, pivot a little bit, and still swimming around until much later. Right? That's fine too. There's no like fixed timeline. But of course, I guess typically angel round would be for companies that just started based on an idea. And then once you have a prototype, so to speak, you could, and it start to generate certain proof that it's a workable idea. You could look at the pre-seed or seed round.
Yep.
Seed round could be bigger than pre-seed round. I mean, just by the term, but there's no fixed amount.
Okay.
But generally anything lower than like 10 million, it wouldn't be considered Series A, so to speak, right? It would definitely be the seed range, and it could be even lower. Yeah.
Nice. Maybe we should have a proper plan and get
Yeah, I got a new client. Great.
You have convinced us.
Yes.
time to look
Perfect.
at our finances, M&As and all. Why we should be yay!
Yeah, in fact, people find that very dreary. I mean, especially creatives. I mean, personally, if you ask me to look at the financial statements and numbers, most people will say, shit, and it's really like hair tearing kind of moment.
Yeah.
But actually, it could be interesting. So in fact, recently I had a group of interns who came with me, and then we did some M&A transaction. So I was actually explaining to them the valuation models for the company, what formula, how did they calculate, all this like multiplier, all that. They were all like, wow, all these terms and question mark, right? And then, but when they understood the relevance of it, they were quite inspired. Some of them were like, I need to go and learn something like financial causes for myself as a lawyer if I want to do M&A. Right? And as business owner, I think numbers could be your friend or could be your enemy, depends on how you look at it. Right? And if you really find some fun, actually it's quite interesting. I mean, I grow to like it because I have no choice, but I like it. Right? And then you read the numbers, and some of the numbers tell stories, like all these accountants who are really geeky. They will say, I read the financial statement. You know what story I could tell you from there? Right? Yeah. So like due diligence is also part of the M&A process. So let's say you want to acquire a target, right? You have to look into its books. You have to look into its history, records, criminal records, all these bankruptcy records. So lawyers, we will do the due diligence. We also get some accountants to do the financial due diligence. And that's when then we will ask the accountant to give us a report as well to reflect, what their concerns are. And some stories will come out from how the numbers are all over the place. So that would be interesting. And that could break a deal or make a deal.
Yeah, it sounds quite costly. The lawyers and accountants with this M&A process is so tall. I think let's take a step back.
Well, actually, I would say, yes. So M&A, I wouldn't say it's cheap, right?
Yeah.
So for startups and all that, if let's say funding is a concern, you may not need like a full-blown professional help,
Okay.
right? Some things, if you can do yourself, it will be good. Like first, like keep your books clean, that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yep.
You can learn some like accounting 101, like go and look at your books and then, take account of your assets. So financial due diligence wise, you may not always need to involve accountant. Like some buyers for small investment, they're happy if you just give them a management report to review themselves,
Okay.
right? And then for the legal due diligence, of course, there's some standard searches that the lawyers would do, but that wouldn't be very costly on itself if you don't need to do a full extent review. Depends on what the buyer also want or the investor is looking at.
Yep.
So it may not be, and everything is customizable. And also in M&A, everything is negotiable. You may think you're spending money on a lawyer, but lawyers are helping you save money
Right.
and get a lot more bang out of this whole deal than
Right.
you think. Yes, possible.
Nice. I mean, the idea of having more money is definitely attractive. But I mean, for me, I feel that it is dealing with the investors, because they now have a say in your business. Would that be, I don't know, it feels like you are limited by, or rather you're supposed to meet expectations of your investors as well, right?
I mean, definitely it's a fair exchange, but not all investors want to control your business.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yep.
So there are different types. There are those who are just like, I have extra
Sleeping partner.
cash.
Yeah.
I just take my money, but make sure you earn my money.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So the KPI is probably purely financial. And usually they wouldn't take the majority stake of your company away. Then it also removes the incentive for you to work hard. Right? And then you're becoming an employee.
Yeah.
So I think the investors, depending on what's their value add, you also have to see whether you want to take their money. Some of them could be also your partners. They have the network resources.
Yes.
And then when you let them have some money in this game, the skin in the game, they will be working for you,
All right.
right?
Yeah,
So that
yeah,
could be
yeah.
the upside.
Nice. So we can depend on you to help us find some
Yeah.
investors for the next stage of Unleash.
Yeah, I mean, actually, to some extent, a lot of my clients also have asked me to help, right? So that's not technically lawyers' work, but
Yeah,
because we
yeah.
are in this industry,
You have all the connections.
we wouldn't say all, right? We have some
Some.
connections, some network. Of course, we are happy to facilitate,
Nice.
the connections.
That's why we invited you here.
Oh, I see. It's a trap. Too late.
I have to say that's not my intention.
Becky is innocent. Okay.
I'm like reeling from all the
Information.
onslaught of information.
Oh no. Is it too much?
No. It's good. It's good. It just suddenly makes me feel like we are so small.
Yeah.
Like we have barely done anything.
Yeah.
Like
That's not true. Look at this.
no. It's like I thought I have grown a lot as a person, as a business owner. Then suddenly you came with this like mountain load of information. I'm like, oh shit, man! I barely just scratched the surface.
Oh, it's different. Maybe Becky, what is your like biggest takeaway on business?
Just earn money can already. as long as you don't go hungry can already.
Yeah. Okay, I think we are like at the second stage of the
What second
business.
stage?
I don't know how many stages
are
are
we
there,
even
but,
in
Yeah.
the second
but
stage?
initially, like you mentioned, right, when we started this business, it's really just like hobbies, lah.
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
right? And we just
we're
with
at the
passion,
yeah.
And we started buying equipment, and we're like, oh
Yeah.
no, we have to feed ourselves.
Mm.
correct.
Yeah. So I would say we are in a stage of, oh shit, we need to feed ourselves.
I think we are still at
Yeah.
the stage of like, we want to shoot for life, and then who even
Not
cares?
quite there. I think we're past that stage. We know that
Slightly.
we cannot shoot, like, we
For
don't want
life,
to do this for
yeah.
life really.
We have only barely passed that stage.
Yeah.
Maybe Bob is different lah, but currently Brandon and I we are still at the we need to take this, we need to scale this up somehow, but
yeah.
we don't know how.
That's why we have her here today. Because right now, I think you have achieved a lot. And I think you have gone through so many experiences from the corporate world, entrepreneurship, your personal life and all. And because you mentioned that, you're too young to retire and stuff like that. So clearly you have a lot of aspirations out there that, things that you want to try, want to do. So, right now you are where you are right now. But is this going to be, the GIC, the place you're going to retire? Or is there going to be something beyond this, something that you hoping to try.
Yeah. There's always something beyond this. Like whichever stage you are at,
Yes.
you have to, even if let's say you stick at one place for the longest time, there will be different roles you grow into, different kind of work you will be dealing with, and you grow as a person. I hope we don't stop growing. I think that's the main message, right? I think after going, I wouldn't say I've accomplished a lot. I would just say I have gone through a lot. That's true. And with all that, I think I have learned, and that's the best, right? That's the most important thing at the end of the day. So with what I have now, of course, it's not like, oh, I've achieved like some kind of enlightenment or wisdom or superb experience or something. But I think it's enough for me to have the confidence to deal with whatever challenges that come ahead.
Okay, I'm going to tap on your collective experience in life, in work, in business and all. Given all that you've experienced, all that you've learned, right? If someone asks you to start a new startup and based on all that you've done, and this startup, you have to start in the next 1 to 2 years. And let's say you're not doing anything right now, you just quit everything and then you're like free. What would you start?
Wow. With whatever I have, I think probably it's the knowledge that is the asset, the very asset that I have. But it's also unique to me. So while there could be some relevance to people and to maybe a certain type of audience, I'm not sure if it would be a universal product that I can sell, right?
All right.
So maybe it's a very customized kind of a knowledge-based service or
Knowledge-based
product.
service, okay?
Yeah,
All right.
that based on my experience, my network, my professional and other kinds of knowledge combined together, that I probably would just sell that. But as big as that is, right?
It is really big. Right. Okay,
yeah.
imagine there's someone out there say, okay, or maybe it's the younger version of yourself, What would you advise that, younger version of yourself, to start?
Younger version depends on what's my knowledge level, right? Also, but okay, I would say whichever thing you choose to start, make sure it has a market, make sure it's something that people can value, right?
Okay.
So I am not so particularly fixed about a certain product or service I want to do. Like what I like to do per se
All right.
may not be relevant to anybody else, but what the market really needs and how you could fit that need. I think is most important, and is the market ready for that? And are you able to deliver the product that the market need with your ability? So there's so many opportunities in the market. You just have to go out there
All right.
and find something. Maybe I could be selling hair clips for all you know, but if hair clips is something that is, very much needed,
Yeah.
right? Why not, right? So if you really want to just do a business that's profitable and makes money, that would probably be the way to start if you have no particularly strong passion. But like all of us here, we have some kind of our idea and passion, then we don't do it just for the money. So if I ask Beck to go and sell hair clips, she may not be very charmed by the idea. So I guess then you have to ask yourself, why are you doing this business? Is it for you to feel fulfilled? Right? And then that's, I think, the right choice. So if my younger self feels happy being a musician, being a writer, I'll say go and do it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays I'm quite shameless now. I'm trying to be less ashamed or shy, whatever. So I'm training myself to do the things I'm not comfortable with.
Nice.
Like singing in public when I'm drunk, right? Those things I would never have done when I'm younger.
All right.
But now I'm okay, I've been through a lot. So I just like
being true to
whatever.
yourself.
Being true to myself. Don't care about how people look at
that's
you.
right. Yep.
Just do the things that motivate you or make you grow as a person. I think that's probably the only advice I would give to my younger self.
So market awareness, self-awareness.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is what
Yes.
I've gotten. I think it's really good,
Nice.
good advice.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you.
practical advice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So why didn't you pursue a music career?
Okay. When you look at music as a hobby versus music as a career, like when you are a photographer and you are running a photography studio, two different things.
Yeah.
Right. So as a career musician, you don't get to some extent to do whatever you like, but you have to do what the audience like.
Yep.
And if music is your passion and you use it as a form of expression, then you really care about what music you are doing and whether it's true to yourself. So if you are a product, you are marketing a product, let's say I have performed for a lot of events. I have performed for more than 100 weddings, actually. In fact, in my short, brief period of a
And more than 100.
semi-professional,
Wow.
more than 100 weddings, and all the music are more or less the same wedding related music,
Yeah.
right? Canon in D marching,
Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah,
at least
yeah.
1,000 times played, right?
Yeah.
So all that, is it the music I like to play personally? Maybe at the beginning, yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
at the end, like it's just a commercial gig.
Mm.
But if I were a musician on my own volition and will, then I will do things I like. I people may not like it, but also it could be more creative, and people might grow to like it. So there's a creative freedom to it, which I think is quite priceless when it comes to the hobby. Right. So I don't know. Like you could always do it, do your music career like a creative individual would, and just do your own thing. Don't care about the market. Right. But then you also have to have that comfort, that security to power that dream. Right. So that you can have a longer runway to be yourself, and for your creative effort to be seen and valued because it's something new.
You value your creative expression more than
When it comes to music,
leaving it.
but
Okay.
I would why not? I mean, in fact, if my current creative endeavors, the drunken singing aside,
Yeah.
my band, if we do take it to the next level and people want to, I mean, we can be commercial about it, we would. In fact, we did 10 performances last year,
Right.
some of which are commercial. In fact, we did one at, there's one event we held at Maduro, where one of the banks, Middle Eastern bank, I wouldn't say which one, CEO was there, and he saw our performance and he hired us for their private function.
Wow.
So it did become commercial,
Yep.
right?
Okay.
But I mean, although we were not pursuing it, but there are audience, so it's okay. I'm not close to the possibility.
Maybe you can launch an album.
Oh, that's our plan. How do you know? In
Wait,
fact,
what?
this is this year's KPI.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like
so
you guys already have some original songs
yes, we
coming
did.
up, right? Yeah.
We did. We are writing our own songs. Also a lot of our music have been rearranged by me for the band because our
nice.
band is like not the typical quartet or a pop band. We are more like one flautist and one pianist and violinist, instrumental. But
Do you need
You
a
need a
drummer?
drummer,
Scottish
yes,
banjo.
always. So we're always looking for bassist, drummer, cellist,
Oh, man.
There we go. Yeah. So yeah, it's growing also quite versatile, and we do want to do some original stuff. And when we rearrange the music, say we did a Chinese themed concert called the Dream of the Red Chamber, Hong Lou Meng, last year at Tanglin Club. And we organized the concert, and then 70, 80 packs turned up.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a big event, and we remixed some of the Chinese old songs from the Dream of the Red Chamber TV series of our grandmother's era, and we remixed it into EDM,
Wow.
and
Wow.
we did it, with our classical instruments,
Nice.
crossover.
All right.
Yeah, so that's kind of an interesting experience too. Yeah.
Well, with the right connections, passion, we just might launch an awesome album. Time to find
Yes.
investors now. Let's go.
Sounds good.
I'll leave it to you, Bob.
yes. You'll make it happen.
Yeah.
All right. I think we good.
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're
Thank you
good.
so much for your time here. I think
Yeah.
you shared a lot of insights.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, I think we definitely learned a lot. Okay, let's say if our audience wants to find you online or
Yes.
somewhere, where would it be? Maybe you can share with us your handle or website.
Sure. If you want to find me as a lawyer, you may find me on LinkedIn. Just typing my full name and I'll be there. If you want to find me in the social context, in the music, so for music, our band is called Music in Common SG. So you can
Right.
put that handle on Instagram at Music in Common SG. If you want to find me as a writer, it's very long, too many.
Alright, sure.
Yeah, I have this series called the Squirry. Squirry is a little squirrel, so SQUIRRIE is hard to spell and pronounce. Squirry, and that's also on YouTube, on Instagram. You can find some of the content. Then myself, you can always find me on Instagram under my own name,
Alright.
and that's my social aspect.
You should have like a link tree.
Yeah, you
one
need a link
click
tree,
and then
man.
just hit everything there.
Yeah, I should maybe
Yeah,
try to
yeah.
do something like that. Will be useful.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
I think
thank you.
we learned a lot from
Thank
you.
you, thank
Thank you
you.
for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.